Well, howdy folks, it's your favorite farmer Steve with the much anticipated, much delayed last video of the year. And it's taken me this long to get over the devastation to the garden, the bad luck, the bad weather. I just haven't been able to pull myself together to let you know what's going on specifically. I think if you remember last time, I alluded to the fact that something was getting over here, something was eating the asparagus, and you will see what actually was and some of the efforts I had to go to get rid of them, to even save what I did, which wasn't much. So I've been in denial for 2 months, but I'm finally been working through it with my spiritual garden advisor, Brian, and I think I can get this done and posted now. But this will be the last video of the year because this is the only thing worth seeing. And the rest of it is just going to be taking it apart, which you've all seen before. Okay, first off, I want to say I'm videoing it this episode with my brand new hotshot phone that I just got, and it's supposed to do everything from cure cancer to stop World War III. I don't know if I can handle the power. You can be the judge. So this is the herb garden, getting ready for the garlic replant that's supposed to be coming tomorrow on Saturday the 14th. This is what's left, or the beginnings, however, on the gardens. Here's some of the saddest fennel you'll ever see. I don't think we're going to get much out of that, and even sadder leeks. They just, didn't make it. Summer savory or a winter savory, this actually is, might do okay. Some cilantro that I'll use. The dill, I've harvested a lot of it, probably just let this go to seed. And there's the horseradish that nobody can have. It started out with a little stick like this long, but next year for sure, I guess, from what I'm told from my advisor. Now, here's where Donald did his main destruction. He actually climbed this gate and it pushed the whole thing over. That's one of the ways he got in. He dug up everywhere he could around the perimeter. You see, I've got some more boards dug in here, some more fencing, and all he did was find the next weakest spot. He would not be detoured. Now, you can remember from the last video, I think you can, it was a while ago, we had no asparagus at all, none. He had eaten it all down. Obviously, it's come back. We couldn't enjoy it, but it let it regenerate itself into the ferns. But there are still quite a few bald spots down here that did not come back, and that's going to require some replanting next year. Cha-ching! Now, this is going to be my first line of defense next year against Donald and his ilk. This is the same trap that I borrowed from a friend out in Garrettsville this year to get Donald. It's pretty simple. This pulls up, sets, put some food in there they like. I used apples, and they'll go in there, live trap him, take him to his next victim. Now, this lovely blank spot over here was an entire row of Brussels sprouts, and they were about this high. They were doing really well until Donald decided that he was going to eat them instead of us, and he just destroyed them. Had to pull them all out. Just growing oxalis and a few weeds right now. Now, the pepper area is one thing that he did not like. These are the little shishito peppers that we were turned on to by some of our fans on the East Coast, and they are delicious. We eat them almost every night that we grill, which is almost every night. And then some of the famous green chilies down here that are almost done, and a few jalapenos. Okay, down in the main garden here, Donald, did some of his most dastardly work. He ate all the beans. We got quite a few, but he finished them off. And then he started to go to work on the squash. Now, after he ate all of the squash that had formed and chewed up a lot of the plants, these two came back. So that is going to be the big yield on the squash harvest this year. You will not be sharing in that. Okay, now the tomato canopy did what it always does, and we got a lot of greenery above here, but for whatever reason, the tomatoes up there just formed late. Down below, you can see the hot, humid weather is taking its toll on the fungus on the leaves, and this is what it does. Now, I sprayed the dickens out of them, and pretty much kept them alive, but they always succumb. But there's not a lot of tomatoes up top here. I don't know if it's the variety or just the or what, but they were not. There's just a few, not too many. There's that little tiny. There's a lot of little tiny ones up there, not too many big ones. The salsa tomatoes, I got 4 of these plants. This one is about average. Some of them are twice that big, but they're almost done as well. Tomatoes are almost done. There's just a lot of little guys left that probably won't get a lot bigger. The cucumbers have just been ridiculous. I've gotten, I don't know, you'd have to ask the farmer's wife for sure, but probably close to 100 cucumbers off of these 4 plants, and they're keeping going. They've been extremely productive. Donald did eat back the okra. You can see some. We're going to get maybe a few more, but he did chomp that down as well as the beans and the squash and the asparagus and the Brussels sprouts. This is perhaps the saddest looking corn plant in the entire world. You remember Eunice, the only corn plant that germinated, and she has been crying her eyes out over here for 2 or 3 months. Her little broken tassels, her one little tiny ear that I don't think is even going to produce any Barbie pink popcorn kernels. So Eunice, you fought the great fight, but I don't think you're going to live to see much longer. Here's some of the biggest disappointment of the year as well. We got these put together this fabulous bee house with the little bee tubes in there. Ordered the leaf cutter bees in June, yes, mid-June. They came, 70% of the cocoons didn't hatch. Those that did vamoosed right away. I waited 2 weeks, no activity at all around here. Called the company and said, hey, the bees took off, don't see any activity at all. And they said, oh, we're sorry, we'll replace them, which they did. Very nice. And they sent them, I put them in there. Most of them hatched. What you see is the already opened cocoons in here. And there was a little activity. They were in and out, but I don't see any difference in the yield on my garden. Maybe it's more of a comment on the garden than anything else, but I think it's just the big bee cartel taking advantage of struggling farmers. But such is the life of trying to make a living off the land. And with that, we'll bid you all a fair adieu and have a great fall. And one special shout out to one of our most adamant supporters, Mr. Ed Nowicki in somewhere in eastern PA. There's so many, it's hard to keep track of. But he's had even a rougher summer than me, and hope you have a speedy and full recovery, Ed. Take care. See you soon.